What's going on, guys? Welcome to another stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report for Friday, March 19th. Now, the IRS has given us a bunch of new updates regarding what we are going to potentially see for the stimulus checks and any future stimulus, so I want to break that down in this video. But first, I do just want to caution everybody out there, which is part of the reason why I titled this video Urgent, simply because this is very important. What we are seeing right now is multiple countries around the world are starting to potentially go back into lockdown or a modified version of a lockdown. We're going to see this in France. Here's the issue. The United States was never on a lockdown. We were kind of restricted as to what we could do, but we were never on a full-fledged lockdown. Here's what we are hearing now. Lawmakers are saying that there is potentially a chance that the United States, if we kind of follow the patterns, which we normally do, if we see other countries go on a lockdown, we could see the United States maybe not fully locked down, but go back to the way it once was about a year ago. That was where a lot of states kind of shut down, businesses shut down, and that is to prevent the spread. Well, here's kind of where we're at now. We're getting more people vaccinated, but we're not getting people vaccinated quickly enough, according to many experts. So they say if we can't get vaccinations out quicker, then the other solution is to, well, maybe we need to kind of shut down things for a little bit, but only allow vaccinations and people going to get vaccinated to continue, and then hopefully this would get us closer to herd immunity. Now, there's other issues there, and I'll address those at the end of this video. But at the same time, lawmakers are saying if we have to do that, if we have to go back to somewhat of a lockdown, then the progressives are right. We do need to provide about $2,000 per month for stimulus checks to every single eligible American. Now, even though that is what's currently being discussed and talked about, it doesn't mean that's necessarily going to happen. So I said this before, that I don't think $2,000 per month is going to happen. However, if we were to go on lockdown, then yes, a $2,000 per month, stimulus check for people to pretty much go on lockdown. Be like, here's your check. Now you got to stay in your home for the next 2 weeks, 4 weeks, but it's going to require a payment of some kind. So we will see what happens there. But as of right now, there's a lot of stuff going around. There's a lot of rumors going around about, is the United States going to follow what, France is doing? What, a lot of Europe is potentially going to do? Because we've seen other countries where they have gone on lockdown. For Australia, for example, have gone on lockdown for they were on lockdown for like 100 and some days, and they pretty much just killed the virus. They did very well, but also they were getting some help from the government. So we will see what happens, but as of right now, our government at least is kind of struggling. The IRS is still urging Americans to just be patient with their $1,400 stimulus checks. They say that they've already sent out over 90 million checks, but they understand some of the people that did not receive a direct deposit are not really waiting. They want the check now. And this is why the IRS stated before, if you want to be first in line to get your stimulus checks, if or when a new one comes out, you need to go and file and get direct deposit. However, many people still did not do that, so because of that, their checks will be delayed. The IRS has already sent out some paper checks. We know they sent out about 150,000 checks the other day, and they're going to continue to send out more checks in the coming weeks. Their goal, as of right now, is to have all stimulus checks sent out by April 1st. That is the current goal from the IRS. And we're also getting a lot of reports from couples here on the channel. I've also seen this on other news outlets as well. But here's what's happening. Many people are stating that they only received one payment, one stimulus check payment, and it was for maybe them or their spouse. Here's the issue. Many media outlets completely botched this and said that couples are going to receive $2,800 stimulus checks. Well, Yes, but here's the truth. As a couple, you receive a $1,400 stimulus check each. Well, you add the two $1,400 stimulus checks together, that equals a $2,800 payment. That's exactly how it is written in the bill as well, in the American Rescue Plan. So just because the media says you're going to get a $2,800 check, that is actually for two people, not for one. And this is where there's been a lot of miscommunication and concerns, is that a lot of people are saying they only received one check. The truth is, you only get one payment. The IRS doesn't split it up and say, okay, the husband and the wife, they're going to get $1,400 that day, $1,400 this day, and then little Jimmy and Bobby, they get another $1,400 and another $1,400. It just all comes together. So you'd get the entire amount all in one. What was that, $5,600 for a family of four? Yeah, it would come as a payment from the Treasury for $5,400. So that is something big. I just wanted to touch on that because I know a lot of people have been asking. So just keep that in mind, that you're only going to get one payment, or you should only get one payment. You shouldn't be getting more than one. In other major news from the IRS, and this is big, and this is something that I have been addressing over the past week or so, and I knew this was coming, but here it is. According to the IRS, they have not started roughly 24 million business and personal tax filings for 2020. And because of this backlog, in addition to extending the filing deadline all the way to May 17th, what this is doing is now causing delays in the child tax credit. And here's the problem with that. Being that we pushed everything back, and I said this about a week or so ago, that as long as the IRS can get out this child tax credit portal by June, then we should be fine. We should be able to have at least 1 month where we can all put in any information for our children, how many children we have, their ages, potentially our income, everything that shows how we would qualify and how much we would potentially get. We could put this all in June, and by July, we could start seeing payments. Here's the issue. If the new deadline is May 17th instead of April 15th, that pushes us back 1 month. Well, we only had 3 months to begin with. We had you had April, May, June, right? 3 months. Here's the issue. If this deadline to be pushed back to May 17th actually pushes us back about another month, the issue there is instead of 3 months, we're now going to have about 2 months. But technically, if the IRS is backlogged this far right now, this pretty much gives us from, let's say, the middle of May, okay, to July, a month and a half. Well, we need about a month to implement all of our information into the portal. So because of this, the IRS is now worried that launching the child tax credit portal could be delayed and possibly otherwise affected because of all these recent changes, which means those $3,600 per year child tax credits or the $3,000 child tax credits, those could potentially actually be a child tax credit, not a monthly payment. The IRS is also saying that sending out monthly checks is being seen as an extreme challenge simply because they do not know where they're going to be. They do not know how things are going to play out. So the only thing they can do is kind of wait and see. That turns into another whole host of issues. But this is something that Democrats knew in advance. Before even passing this bill, Democrats knew there was a chance we could not see a monthly payment. There's even a provision in this bill stating that the secretary could change the payment frequency as they see fit. And this is exactly what is happening before the portal is even open, before the portal is even created. So this is creating a lot of issues. What some people within the IRS are stating is that we could see maybe something like every quarter we get paid the child tax credit. And then following that, if this were to get advanced and turns into a permanent fixture into the tax code, what we could see is eventually this could evolve into a monthly payment. But in the first payment or payments, they will most likely be at the least probably quarterly, according to multiple reports. Now, Quarterly payments are not bad either. However, studies do show, according to this report, that studies do show that quarterly payments will not bring as many children out of poverty as monthly payments. And a yearly payment, a yearly child tax credit, doesn't bring as many children out of poverty as a quarterly payment does. So the more payments you have, okay, the quicker frequency that we have of payments actually increases the chance of children coming out of poverty. And that's ultimately what the Democrats' goal was with passing this bill. Now, maybe saying the Democrats' goal with this bill is a little bit unfair because there were Republicans that did support this as well. So this did have some bipartisan support. That is the good news. But here's what we know. A quarterly payment for children between 0 and 5 is going to be $900. That's 3 months. $900, $300 per month. For children between 6 and 17, that's $750. That's $250 every single month for 3 months. Now, what we don't know is, will this piece of legislation, will this only go for 1 year? That's currently the way it is written in the bill. But Democrats are pushing to get this extended and make this a permanent fixture in the tax bill. So even though this is currently not, or chances are this is not going to be a monthly payment, this would still help get children out of poverty. However, Democrats do say that right now anything less than a monthly payment would greatly alter the impact of this piece of legislation. But that's currently where the IRS stands. We do know that the IRS has been allocated nearly $2 billion to hire more staff and modernize its technology. So this could help. This will help. However, it could be too little, too late, according to many sources. Now, another thing the IRS is currently working on, and a lot of you have asked, is what do we do about the income or the unemployment tax waiver of up to $10,200 for people that received any unemployment income? Here's what the IRS is stating. The IRS says they're still working on the best possible solution at this time. However, they said they do not know yet, and they have not announced how people will get these funds back. The IRS says they do not want people to file an amended tax return. This would only slow them down, and it would slow down any possible refunds. Instead, they say wait for more directions from them, and they will give clear guidance as soon as they have it. But I know a lot of people are just saying, well, yeah, I paid an additional $1,000 to the IRS, but now I want that money back. I need it. I paid that money because it was due, but I'd love to have it back. Here's what we know. The IRS is going to give you interest on top of the money you are owed if there's more than a 45-day delay after the filing deadline. Here's the other issue with that, and this is why, again, I stated this video as urgent, because you will potentially get interest on top of the money that you are owed if 45 days goes by from the filing deadline, which again was moved from April 15th to May 17th. So we would have April, May. So instead of having this 45-day interest payment or whatever start on June 1st, it's actually going to start on June 1st. It's actually going to start on July 1st or right around that day. So that's the issue. The other issue is we're pushing it back another month. Well, now the IRS could potentially hold your money, and not like they want to, or they are, that's their plan, but there's so many things being wrapped up into all this, it's making it very difficult for people to get their refunds. I have family members that have been waiting over a month to get their not only their unemployment income waiver, that money back, obviously, but because some of them did take the 10% that here in Washington State, you can have the state take 10% of your unemployment benefits. But what we know is they're still waiting for that, and we don't even have clear guidance there. And they're still waiting on their actual tax return and their refund there as well. So it's not just people that were badly affected by this pandemic. It's not just the people that started making money and they're doing even better now than they were before. Every single person in the United States is being impacted in one way or another. Some way more than others. Now, here's what we do know. While all of this stuff is going on, Democrats, progressives, Republicans, every single lawmaker is fighting for their own agendas. We know that. Well, progressives continue to push their own priorities in the next package. This is President Biden's Build Back Better plan, which is going to be somewhere between $2 to $4 trillion. We don't know where. However, many expect it's going to be between 2 and 3 trillion. That's kind of where they've narrowed it down as of right now. They say, as far as progressives, they say there will be Medicare for all, there will be a wealth tax, and there will be a $15 minimum wage provision. Those are 3 things that will be included into the next bill. However, they don't specify how they are going to get the $15 minimum wage provision in there. But according to many sources, it is either the $15 minimum wage or we're going to give an additional stimulus check to those that do not meet the minimum income requirements, which would be like, $25,000, $30,000 or less. You will get the next stimulus check, possibly the 4th stimulus check. So that is big. According to Pramila Jayapal, who's the chair of the Progressive Caucus, she says that voter support for these 3 things are for Medicare for all, it's 69%. For a wealth tax for the extremely wealthy individuals in the United States, this would be 68%. And for a $15 minimum wage, it is 66%. That is the voter support for this. And she even goes on to say that the progressive agenda is the people's agenda. And this is what I've been saying for over a week, is that Democrats have changed their strategy completely, which I think is it's a very, very bold move, but it's a smart move. If Democrats can only pass the bills that have the popular votes, okay, it's a popular bill amongst the American people, Democrats are going to hold their seats in the upcoming midterm election in about 2 years. I think this is, if Republicans did this exact same thing, if they did this last year, they would still hold the majority in the Senate. Guaranteed. Because this is what people want. The American people want to be heard. The American people want their voices to be heard. And if you hear their voices, you hear what they are saying, and you act on it, you will get rewarded. So Democrats are now seeing this and like, hey, we are going to pass the bills that are popular amongst the American people. And by doing so, we're going to retain our seats here in the House and the Senate. And obviously, President Biden still has about 4 years left. So even though the Biden administration is still trying to figure out how to send the American people the relief from the previous stimulus package, we have many lawmakers that are working on the next stimulus bill. Yes, I say stimulus bill because even though it's a Build Back Better plan and they're saying this is supposed to be an infrastructure bill, some are saying this is supposed to be a tax hike bill, and others say no, this will be a stimulus relief bill because we still need more. And if we do see that, yes, many other countries are going back into lockdown, many people are expecting we will see another large stimulus package to get the economy back to where it once was, even though we are still going through this pandemic. So, in other news, now that we're talking about the pandemic, let's go address the new numbers. The United States reported 60,859 new COVID cases from yesterday and 1,558 deaths. Experts do say that many countries are starting to see a 3rd and 4th wave of cases, but the United States can still avoid this. However, they would need to get vaccines rolled out faster. Sometime today, President Biden will most likely announce that he reached his goal of 100 million shots in just 100 days. However, it actually has only been, I think, 58 days as of today. So he's reached his goal about 40 days in advance. So that is the good news. Whether you like President Biden or not does not matter. If somebody sets a goal and they reach that goal, whether it's because of them, maybe the Trump administration had something to do with it because they rolled out some stuff in advance, who knows, right? We're not here to judge. We just want to make sure that the economy gets back to where it once was and the American people can get back to normal life. Currently, health experts say that the chances of getting out of this pandemic in 2021 is highly, highly unlikely. Most likely, we will still be in this pandemic in a way for over another year. Dr. Fauci states that just having all adults get vaccinated will not be enough. And this is what they said last year, or about 6 months ago. Dr. Fauci said we need to get to herd immunity. We need to do that as quickly as possible. The problem is, and this is according to Dr. Fauci from yesterday, he said, until we get at least all high school students vaccinated, the United States will not reach herd immunity because too many people can still spread the virus. There can still be variants, and we can still see, these things, this virus mutate, which could cause even more harm. So we need to get this under control. In addition, he said that for adults who are opting out of this vaccine, this will most likely put us back into the same situation that we were in just a few months ago. So as of right now, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of people worried. We are going to go back into some form of a lockdown. I don't anticipate we go back into any type of lockdown like we have seen in the past. We do have states that are opening up. We see people down in Florida and Las Vegas going there for spring break. We know, spring sports are going to open up soon. Schools want to get back open 100%. And by doing all of these things at once, pools are going to open. People will go swimming, hotels, everything like that. They'll travel. The issue with all this is, yes, cases will most likely spike. However, how we handle this is going to be what we see moving forward. If we see the United States and the American people handle this really well, everyone wears a mask, they somewhat social distance, they don't travel as much as maybe they want to or used to, we could potentially get out of this soon. However, some say it will be at least one more year. So that's what we know right now. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful Friday. Subscribe so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.